We got to find out what happened during Danny's trip to Sweden. Must talk about what could be an MVP matchup in the finals. Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid. But we got to start with big time game number 6's New York Knicks, Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors. Welcome into another episode of Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford. So much to get into. It is the best time of the year, my friend. The only thing that I don't like about what's going on right now is that I'm not watching you play in it, which is a rarity in life.
I would have to agree, my man, even though I'm trying to stay away from those words. It's one of my on TV talk criticisms to not agree with you as much or not say that. But I mean, I would rather be playing for sure. It'd be a lot of fun. But I had a good year. I want to thank both organizations, Memphis and Cleveland, for having me. Taking care of the knee. I have some good miles under me still for the next couple of years to come. So we'll see where I land this summer. But the playoffs is a fun one. This one being more interesting than most because it's similar to March Madness, where it's becoming very unpredictable. And I think because the West has so many different teams that have dropped to 7, 6. This is the first year I think they had all rankings in the playoffs 1 through 8 in this round. But because the West is so scattered around with injuries and teams, falling where they may, it makes it that interesting. And even in the East, with Milwaukee dropping out in the first round. So we got, Miami Heat and New York Knicks, and then we got Philly and Boston. What do you see has to happen for your Knicks to win, bro?
Oh yeah, we'll get to my Knicks in a little bit. But I want to get to the marquee of all the marquees.
Okay, the big game.
Come on now, yeah, LeBron and Steph.
I figure we started from the bottom first and then work our way up. But let's go ahead. We start from the top.
We'll go to the top billing. All right, so you've been watching these games. Obviously Golden State trying to pull off a 3-1 comeback. Obviously the Lakers are trying to end this one and move on to the next round. Let's start with your former team first. How do the Lakers move on to the Western Conference Finals?
They stay healthy. They have AD. I don't know what his condition is or what the end conclusion is of the hit to the face today. He might have concussion-like symptoms. We don't know if it will be a concussion until tomorrow. I think after 24 hours, they can give a different type of conclusion or analysis of what the injury is. I'm assuming he'll be okay and be playing Game 6. But, they stuck with the game most of the game. They were within it and within striking distance most of the game. They played hard. I expected Golden State to survive this game, especially being at home. They play so well at home. But the Lakers have to just continue to ride, that wave of having AD set the tone with the paint presence. And that's blocking shots, rebounding, being as active as he was, and offensively being a force, getting Draymond and Kevin Looney in foul trouble. And then the others stepping up like they have been, whether it's Austin Reeves, whether it's Lonnie Walker, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura. Like, those guys have to continue doing what they do. And, of course, Brown is going to do what he does. So if they want to win, they have to make sure AD is healthy and that they continue to have that forceful AD that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and so, we'll see how AD responds over the course of time. He's actually gone against the grain from what his history has been so far in the playoffs in terms of having a good game and then a bad game. He's really had 3 straight games now where he's really made an impact on both sides of the ball. All right, let's go
he's
talk
hearing,
about
he's hearing what we're saying. He's being more consistent for sure. He's definitely hearing what the media's saying. He's coming in a mental note of that, so he's being more consistent. But yeah, let's go down to what you got the team moving up now?
Yeah. So let's talk about the team that you're used to seeing in the playoffs, the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. How do they get it done?
Continue doing what they did tonight and what they did in Game 2. They have to continue their pace. And I think, they did a good job of keeping AD away from the basket without using as many pick and rolls. I think the pick and roll game kind of slowed them down and took Klay out of rhythm. The fact that they started off early trying to get Klay some easy shots or some early shots, keep him in rhythm, playing Jordan Poole, help them find a rhythm, will help them for this game coming up on the road, because I think they need them confident and those guys to score in order to beat the Lakers. But they have to continue to have Draymond push the pace and him be more of a point guard. Obviously, Steph played a great game early on. He didn't look to be as aggressive for his scoring himself, but to get other guys involved and use himself as a decoy. So if he's aggressive, he's going to shoot better than he did tonight, I think. He played a great game, don't get me wrong. But I think from 3, he missed them early on. He didn't get, he got a couple at the basket, but I think he missed them from the perimeter. So if he gets going, but gets those other guys going and keep their transition, their pace, and not allow AD to set in a half court set defense and keep him away from the rim as much as possible without doing as many pick and rolls, they have a really good shot. We know that they're defending champs for a reason because they got back to their identity of who they were instead of adjusting to what other teams are doing.
Yeah, I guess. A presence like AD makes you do things like that. I
It
think
will.
the one encouraging thing for them, I think relatively tonight, at least they did get something from Jordan Poole. He at least did score over 10 points, which is the first time he's done that since game number 1. I'd imagine he's going to have at least another double-digit scoring performance for the Golden State Warriors to move
for sure.
on.
You need at least 15 from him, 15, 20. You need at least 15, 20 from him. But yeah, man, I didn't know that the first time since game 1. I mean, last game he didn't get much of a chance. He was on a short leash. 10 minutes is not enough. I don't care for what person is off, any shooter. You have to let him test the water and the temperature a little bit. And he wasn't able to do that last game. I think tonight, hopefully building some confidence and a little bit of rhythm. And we're gonna see a tough, very tough game 6 coming up in the crypto arena.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be I'm not really rooting for any team, but I think I say it for everybody. We want a game 7. Come on, now.
Everybody wants a game 7. I think we're rooting for the game 7
Curry,
in any series. I think we might get the game 7 in the Boston series.
Especially this one. Now, there's certain series you want to move on to the next one, but this one right here, I think we all deserve it as basketball fans.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, it would even though I don't give the Lakers any chance of winning a potential game 7 at Chase Center. That's a story for another day.
I don't see AD and Bron losing 3 straight. AD having bad games 3 times. He had a good game today, but it wasn't a great one. But I can't see him not carrying them to a win 3 games in a row.
Yeah. Yep. And if they do that, they'll be and if they do that, they'll more than likely, in my opinion, take on the Denver Nuggets. And we'll get to Nikola Jokic and a potential NBA Finals matchup with Joel Embiid later on in the show. But let's talk about another matchup going down Friday night, Game 6. And I don't, not to shade any potential sponsor, but I don't know the name of the new arena there in Miami. They had to switch it up from the crypto.
They changed it so many times. I don't know what it was.
The Kaseya Center. I don't know. I'm a Knicks fan. I know about Madison Square Garden.
We know about the Garden, but damn there was a Smash Bros. Center at one point. We just don't know who was going to sponsor, but they changed it a couple times. It's hard to keep up, but I guess we'll look it up and find out. Somebody, I'm sure, listening to the podcast, hopefully the Miami fan will correct us.
Yeah, somebody will let us know. I must say, this guy, Eric Spoelstra, and the Miami Heat, they have gotten on my nerves as a Knicks fan because
they figured it out. They've been balling, they've been hooping. Before tonight's game, I think they had 6 guys averaging 11 points a game or something like that. Over 11 points a game.
They're showing the Knicks how to operate at a different level than what the Knicks are showing right now, and that is with not as much individual talent. And they're doing the things that most Knicks fans would be happy to see. Second chance points, being gritty, not making bad decisions with the ball. Like all of let me not get into
They got a lot.
Okay.
They got a lot of high IQ players, a lot of vets there, know what they're doing, and they're playing, simple, easy. They're playing a system, good basketball. They find each other and moving. They happen to miss shots tonight, and you guys made some, so that was a good thing for y'all. But I don't see that happening again in Game 6 for the Miami Heat. I don't see them shooting as poorly at home.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that could potentially be here on the table, is Jimmy Butler could end up playing every single minute in the game. It's something that Jalen Brunson did. It's something that Quentin Grimes did in game number 5. And I'm just curious. Obviously, you've been in the finals, you've been in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I'm curious what your approach is, what the team's approaches are to playing guys the full 48. Because, we only have 2 minutes here before we got to go to break. Mm-hmm. I feel as if when you have when you have a player of that magnitude that can go 40 full 48, all the little advantages that you got when he went to the bench, or all the advantages that you got when he wasn't out there on the court, they just evaporate. Like, like remember when Joel Embiid played against you when you were on the Raptors? Those minutes Joel Embiid went to the bench is why you guys won the series.
That helped. It did help us.
Yeah, no, it was big time. I mean, you guys pretty much, I think you lost the minutes. You lost the minutes that Joel Embiid was on the court. It was the tremendous advantages that you guys got in the minutes that he was off is why you won the series. If you go by plus minus, I can go into a whole analytical thing, but I'll let you speak on it.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think Miami needs to play Jimmy 48 minutes. I think they have enough so where they can at least give him a rest minute of 5 minutes for the game. Like he can get at least 2 minutes a quarter, that type of situation, or a minute a quarter at least. I think New York is back against the wall. They're fighting elimination. Not saying that every game is not important and that it's not a desperation game every time you step on that floor. Heat was up 3-1. That's why they played those guys 48. Mind you, Evan Fournier is sick. They don't have many other shooters outside of Quentin Grimes, so they want to keep him on the floor. Jalen Brunson, I still think you could sit, Quentin Grimes. He's young enough. Jalen Brunson played the full 40. I think without having Quickly, it's hard to take him off the floor and have another backup point guard that's going to give you something. So I understand that one. Jimmy said, I don't think Miami needs to do that. I think they have enough. I think they'll play better. He can rest a little bit. They have a lot of guys that can do different things. When you have that, I mean, he doesn't have to rest a lot. Let me tell you, I'm not saying he needs to, sit a bunch of minutes. He can rest a little bit though, and still then be effective because they've balled out all playoffs. They're others, from Gabe Vincent to Max Strus, Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love, Highsmith coming off the bench for them, give them some decent minutes. So they've got enough guys of a group with Bam who can bring the ball up for you and run your offense and kind of facilitate the same way Jimmy does. You can find buffer minutes for him to be able to get, a break or two here and there, at least a half, 4 minutes a half or so.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that team would look like if they had Tyler Hero in moments of desperation too. They are proving to be a lot more formidable than they proved in the regular season. With that being said, I don't want to talk about the Miami Heat anymore. I'd rather talk about players that I'm more fond of at the moment. Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, a potential NBA Finals on the way between the two reigning MVPs. We discuss that next right here on Inside the Green Room. All right, we're back with more Inside the Green Room. Danny Green, Harrison Sanford, right here on your podcast app or your YouTube channel or your Instagram channel or your Twitch, TikTok, and all the 520 million social media arms that are available. I can go into a whole spiel about
we everywhere, you never there. You know what I'm saying? We all over the place.
I can't. Social media, I feel like everybody should just be limited to 2 social media accounts.
I'll say 3.
I was like, you gotta pick 2, and that's all you can do.
There's like 100. It's like I'll say at least 3, maybe 4.
And you could only be in 3 group chats. More than 3 group chats is a problem.
Yeah, 3 serious group chats. I would say 3 debating sports group chats. Other ones could be family or whatever, but you need
of course you can have a family one, but the family one can't be too active.
There you go. Yeah, no, family's never active. Nobody cares to talk to their family that much.
I got a family group chat with like 50 people on it, and every day it's like 50 messages.
That's you have extended family. You have to have just your immediate family. You know what I'm saying? Just your brothers.
I can't leave the group chat.
No, you start other ones. You can mute it and listen. I'm not doing this no more. You can leave. Like I'm gonna start different groups with different people. Like, all right, here's 10 for you. It's 10 for these people. I can interact with y'all when I feel like interacting with y'all.
Yeah, I can't. Maybe I'll try to. I'll plan my great escape. We'll see how it goes down. All right. No offense to any family members who end up listening to this. With that being said,
they be all right.
All right, let's talk about your former teammate Joel Embiid, recently named the MVP. Before we talk about a potential matchup with Nikola Jokic, let's talk about what it felt like to see Joel get the MVP. I mean, you probably knew he was going to get it, but what emotions went through your mind when you saw your former teammate raise the trophy?
It's about damn time. I mean, he deserved it. I thought he deserved it last year. He had a hell of a year last year and this year. It was tough. The NBA was put in a weird position. I don't like the fact that it seemed like for him, it seems like they gave it to him, not only because Jokic got it twice, but that's part of the reason they didn't give it to him. And I don't like that because I feel like he earned it, especially last year. He should have been able to like walk away and say, you know what, I earned this. They're not giving this to me because, they don't want to have Jokic have it 3 times in a row. But when I first saw it, man, I was excited for him. I was happy for him. It was a big accomplishment. You could tell that he doesn't really talk much. He doesn't show emotions much. And this is the first time you really see him show emotion in his interviews, where he's come from, his background, and how long he's been waiting for this. And he may be trolling, but he shows when he's first drafted, put himself as MVP, different things like that of what this meant to him. And you see his son come out there, his wife his fiance bring his son out there. And then you see the crying face. And then for some reason, it just took me back to his ugly ass crying face. It took me back to the Toronto days of when I'm like, yo, I understand he's crying. Those emotions is beautiful, but like that ugly ass crying face that he got, man, is like, we got to get you a better cry, bro. But it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It made you feel, warm and wholesome at heart just watching as a fan. But yeah, he had that little crying face. That lip goes down, and I'm like, man, you can't be crying like that. But it was dope. It was dope. I was happy for him. It's amazing. I said it's well deserved. It was earned, and he deserved it. But that crying face took me to a different place where I was like, oh man, here goes the face. Here goes the face, man. But that's my dog. That's my dog, and I'm happy for him. Where did it take you, Harrison?
I can't hold. I can't hold you when I saw.
And I'm not trying
face.
to make fun of him like, oh, during the Toronto series we kicked his. I'm not saying like, oh, we kicked his ass during Toronto. I'm just thinking of like, you don't see Joel show emotion, but the last time I saw him crying, that nasty face, which was a bad time. And I think it took a while for them to get used to me being a Sixer when I first got there because they saw me as an enemy so much. And the last time he probably remember seeing me is when the crying happened, and he's like, I hate these guys. They took a championship away from me. Like we would have beat them, they won a championship. So I know that took a little bit warming up to, but I think over the 2 years we got to know each other a lot better. We're closer now. We're good friends, and I'm happy for him. Just the crying face kind of took me out a little bit. I couldn't help but to like giggle, like laugh at him, like, what the hell, Joel? What the that face? Use the microphone. Like, I'm like, big guy, he's just too big. He's just too big. You know what I'm saying? He's looking like a little kid. I'm like, yo, you look like a little ass kid crying. But it's dope though. It just shows you how much he loves the game, how passionate he is. So I loved it, man. I loved every bit of it, and I said I'm happy for him. And I want to see him do well in the series. I want to see them do well. It's about time because Boston's had their number for some years, and so has Miami. And it's time for them to, get over that hump. And I think he's gonna have an MVP performance, and hopefully, get this done for them so they can get that Eastern Conference Final for the first time in a very long time.
That was funny. We don't got enough time, so I gotta move on. All right, so but I tell you this right now, it's interesting.
And we have something to give me the series. What do you think of the series? Like, what do you have going on in the series?
Well, I'm just saying when the playoffs first started, I wanted to see Bucks versus the Warriors. Because that one, I put.
But in the Eastern Conference Finals, you thought Boston, Milwaukee for sure. You thought Boston was going to be there, that revenge rematch type situation.
Yeah, I thought it'd end up being Boston, Milwaukee, and the Warriors and some team, Nuggets, Suns, whoever. And that's what I wanted to see. But as the brackets are kind of breaking out the way they're breaking out, I'm saying to myself, Danny, dang, I kind of want to see Jokic and Embiid. Jokic and Embiid has been pretty much the primary storyline in the NBA for the past 2 years, past 3 years.
Yeah, probably that's past 3 years, honestly.
Yeah.
Ever since Jokic won MVP, it's always been a battle of the big men. It was Jokic won MVP, and it was like, all right, who can they compare to? Who is he fighting out? And it's like the other big man is Joel. But Joel had injuries that 1 year, but it was the past 3 years. Because since I was in Philly my first 2 years, it was like, all right, Joel was out for a month, I think, with the knee injury, and that kind of took him out of the race. But they've been at it, man. And I think it's due for that type of matchup of the finals. And a lot of people talk about this Boston-LA matchup in the finals. for 18. But I think this
That,
one is a better fan for me as a fan. I would rather see somebody new win it. Um, other than instead somebody asked me today who am I rooting for? I'm not really rooting for anybody. I just want to see good basketball. But if I had the
yes.
chance if I want to see somebody win a ring, it's somebody new. And I was obviously rooting for my guys that are my brothers, and that's Tobias Harris, George Niang, Tyrese Maxey, those guys that I had in Philly, and of course Joel and James and all those guys down the line that I know over there, Dwayne Dedman. Obviously I played with the Lakers and I would root for them too, in the series, but they already won one. I want to see somebody new. I'm tired of seeing the same teams win the finals. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, I totally get it. I think a Sixers Nuggets series would be great because I don't think if you look across the NBA, I don't think you get two players as great at that at the same position
Mm-hmm.
who could play against like
Who've been
if the
fighting over
Warriors
MVP for the last year.
if the Warriors played the Celtics, it would be Steph Curry versus Jason Tatum. It's just
Mm-hmm.
different positions, different caliber player in terms of legacies.
But to have
Embiid,
two players that have been fighting over MVP the last 3 years, the only time that I can remember that vividly stands out in my mind is like when Charles might have won it over Mike, or when Karl Malone won it over Michael Jordan. They met up in the finals. That was the only time. But they're different
but
positions.
even
But it's just, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to find the same position that has been fighting over top spot, top dog of the league. So that would probably be the best matchup, man, honestly.
yeah, no, I think that's the one series that I am subscribing to. I would love to see it. Will it happen? Well, I guess we'll see. It's definitely very much on the table the way both of the teams are playing right now. All right, we got to go to one more break. When we come back, Danny gives us one more prediction and then catches us up on his trips outside of the country. Be right back on Inside the Green Room. Back with Inside the Green Room. Thank you guys for subscribing, rating, reviewing, giving us 5 stars, and rocking with us over our, what I guess Danny feels like 6 years of podcasting.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
been a
lot of
good
people
5.
having podcasts nowadays.
A full 5, right? It's been a full 5. We started 2018. I want to say something.
2018.
It's 2023 now. So a full
Yeah.
5 years. It seems like longer, but yeah, full 5 years, bro.
Been after it. Might have to take it overseas. I hope you introduced some people to the podcast when you were in Sweden this past week.
I
Watching
did.
your younger brother get do his thing on the court. We only have 2 minutes left. How did you enjoy your time abroad?
It was great, man. I said the fans over there were lovely. They all kind of know about some of them know about the podcast. They do research. They're big fans. They showed a lot of love. Got to see a little G Gervin over there, so it was dope. To see some familiar faces in another country. But I had a great time, man. It's a little small city called Norrköping, where my brother played. He had great first halves. His games were good. They won. They had a good atmosphere. They had little, let's say jumbotron, but they had screens. The fans were into it. They had little fireworks going off every basket. They had little sparklers and stuff. It was a dope
Fireworks?
atmosphere. It's like, behind the basket, little sparklers going up. You know what I'm saying? Out there, fireworks. It's
That's
like sparkle.
wild.
Every basket, it's like they cheer and the sparklers shoot up. I'm like, okay, this is dope. He came out hot. He came out balling. Second half kind of tangled up, but they won 2 games. They went up 3-1, and they got it done in 6. So they went to their place. They lost. They went to 3-2, and then they won 4-2 back home. So and he won MVP. So congratulations, little bro, man. You killed it. You did a hell of a job. Amazing. I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see what's next for you, but you earned this one. Enjoy it. And said I'm happy. We're all happy and proud of you. So it was dope. It was a dope experience. And hopefully get a chance to check it out again and go back one day and check out Stockholm a little more.
Yeah, I definitely. Hey, I'm very much happy that you went. You never know if you have that opportunity again. Not advancing in the playoffs is not all that bad, considering the circumstances this year and what you were able to do. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it. We can wrap it up unless you have any last words, Danny.
Yeah, I just want to send my love to the Gilbert family and the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. Of course, I've known Dan Gilbert and his son since I was a rookie there, and they always showed me love and embraced me. So I want to send some of that love and my condolences back to Dan and his family. Nick just passed recently this past week, so we're keeping them in our prayers and sending our condolences and as much love and positivity as we possibly can. So, Dan Gilbert, thank you for everything you've done for me this far. Cleveland Cavaliers, our team, the organization loves you. and your family. We're definitely gonna miss Nick. So we'll continue to keep the bow tie thing going and try to keep his name to live on as long as we can. But yeah, sending our condolences, and we love you, man.
All right. Well said, Danny. We'll see you guys next week.
Read, rate, subscribe, review.
Oh, yes.